So Eli here is also vegan, and he lives in Colorado. He's American, and I'm American, and I reached out to Eli, and I wanted to ask Eli, hey, what is Colorado like? Because I've been thinking about moving from Massachusetts, moving somewhere that's maybe better for cycling, better for vegans, better for anything else. Maybe rent is cheaper. So we're gonna talk about that. Colorado. So I've been considering moving there. Uh, I know that Colorado has like a high, one of the was it like high elevation point.
Yeah, Colorado has the highest average elevation of any other state in the U.S. So, in general, if you look at the whole landscape, we have probably over over 50 peaks that are over 14,000 feet high. So that's right at the Rockies essentially, and then you have the flatlands coming to the east. So yeah, generally pretty high altitude, pretty dry, and the mountain sort of weather can have large swings in temperature and wind and all these other things. So it's perfect for outdoorsy people anyway for all kinds of sports.
What's the longest? How close are you to the climbs? Like if you went out on your bike and you wanted to go for a nice climb, good effort. How far would you have to go to find that?
Yeah, I'm pretty lucky. I live just down the road to Flagstaff Mountain. It's actually one of the most popular climbs in Colorado. It's kind of like our Alpe d'Huez. Like so thousands of people ride that climb, and I'm pretty lucky to be maybe a mile and a half from the actual Strava segment. So it's pretty convenient.
How does what kind of what's the community like there? Like, do you have a lot of commuters, a lot of athletes, a lot of, what do you usually see over there?
So I think out of the U.S., we have the most people by percentage who commute by bike. It's an extremely bike-friendly place. I think 10% of the population use bikes as commuting like all the time, which is decently high when you consider 1 out of 10 people use bikes every day, get to work or do things. There's I think over 200 miles of bike paths for
Wow.
people who don't like the roads as much. A lot of gravel for those who like to do riding on there. Yeah, biking's very popular around here. The culture is open to that, so it's a common occurrence to see a cyclist out there.
Do you do group rides?
Uh, I did group rides a couple of times, but they get pretty intense. Like I was in a group ride of 50 people, and it was like full on, full gas for 75 miles.
Wow.
And people are attacking and sprinting, and you're bumping elbows with one another. Like these ex pros in the group. So we had a couple of
Oh,
former tour riders in there. Yeah, we have a couple of intense group rides. Maybe should have chosen something more mellow, but yeah, there's a ton of group rides around here.
so how safe is Boulder, Colorado? It's like can like here in Massachusetts, I could ride my bike. It's pretty. I think the city of Boston is pretty well known for how uh, bike friendly it is. I think the people here they're pretty good when it comes to passing a cyclist. What's it like in Colorado? Have you had any close calls? How safe is it to ride a bike over there?
And something I haven't mentioned before too, I work a late night shift. So I start at 3 p.m. I work all the way 11 p.m. and
Hmm.
then I ride home
Well,
every night. And the streets are completely empty on the way back home. It's just quiet
wow,
and everybody's just sleeping pretty much. So there's not a lot of nightlife in Boulder. Everybody goes to bed pretty early.
really?
So
Okay.
I assume because there's just so many elderly people, that live here. So it's pretty chill and quiet. I maybe only seen like a couple cars over 20-25 minutes riding home.
Um, do you have that in Colorado? Like places to go out at night?
We have the Pearl Street Mall. which is a really big place to go hang out at night. But I don't do too much of that stuff. I mean, I'm mostly just working and riding my bike
Yeah,
during.
I'm busy
Never
working.
really looked into that sort of
Uh,
thing. But yeah, there's definitely a ton of restaurants and places to drink and bars and such on Pearl Street. I mean, I don't drink either, and
yeah,
I
nice.
never in my life. So,
Oh, really? Okay.
but
Yeah.
but
Same. I mean,
yeah, suppose
yeah.
there's places to go out and see at night too, if you wanted to. But I'd say the city as a whole, not really. It's probably just that small area.
Well, so what kind of, now that I mentioned it, what kind of what how trying to think how how much variety do you have like with people there? Like I said, like here you got a bunch of Latinos. I think mainly a lot of Brazilians come here, which is interesting. I don't know why. Why why Brazilians come to Massachusetts. Right over here, it's cold in the winter, and I know a couple Brazilians, and they love. You know, I don't know if you know much about Brazil, but I think Brazil is like a pretty tropical climate.
Oh yeah.
And then they come here, and it's freezing in the winter. So it's like, why are you why'd you choose Massachusetts? You could have gone to Florida, Miami, California. So what do you have? What kind of people are over there in Colorado?
Um, I'd say we have a similar thing, but instead of Brazilians, we have Nepali people specifically. So it's this
Oh,
really small country just northeast of India, and it's
oh,
very
okay, interesting.
altitude. It's at the base of the Himalayas, and
Yeah.
these people live at very high altitude. And for whatever reason, at work, like on my shift, maybe 90% is Nepali.
Wow.
Um,
Okay.
I don't know why, but it just happens to be that way. But everybody else, not very diverse. It's either that or Nepali people, I've noticed.
What are Nepali people like? I don't know. I've never met someone
Oh,
from
yeah.
Nepal. So what's it like? What kind of what does it bring to Colorado?
They're very, they're usually very cheery, very happy people, I've noticed, very friendly. They're very, very family oriented and very group oriented. So if, you don't see usually one Nepali person by them living by themselves. They're usually with a lot of people, their family. It's and they're very tight knit communities, so it's not very individualistic.
Mm,
If you're Nepali, maybe 20, 30 people they're super close to you, and you're always together. You support
interesting.
each other, and I really like that. And they're very you know very chill people
Yeah.
in general. That I've noticed. Very hardworking. It's strong work ethic. So at least at work, they always. I've noticed in particular they go for the overtime. Like they work 80 hours a week. It's
Okay.
insane.
Wow. 80 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, often they do the extra 4 hours in their 8 hour day.
How? So in the winter, right? It snows over there. Here it snows. I don't. When I first moved here, I rode through it. I rode my bike through the snow. I put some studded tires on my bike, and I'd commute from Boston all the way to my job, which was like 14 miles, and I would ride through the winter when it was, there was like a blizzard or something. I had to ride because I had to go to work, and but now 6 years living here, I don't want to step outside in the winter. Like, I don't like it. It can get sketchy, even if you have studded tires, a car might like swerve. So I don't know if it's me getting older or what, but like I'm like, okay, I don't really.
Things
So
change between when you're 18 and 30, 32 and whatnot. So definitely, yeah. I'm surprised I'm still alive. Some of the things I did on a bike when I was 16, 17. But not anymore. I'm definitely the same way.
in Colorado, what's the vegan scene like? You know,
It's
yeah,
super vegan friendly. Like, I mean, at least for me, I'm a pretty simple guy. Like you and your videos, I just like to steam rice and eat really simple foods. But if I really wanted to go far with it, you can. Um, I mean, you get a lot of vegan restaurants around here. There's literally a vegan burger joint next to Trader Joe's.
Wow.
Nothing but vegan burgers in that place. So that gives you a good sign, like, hey, um, it's pretty open to a lot of different types of, lifestyles. But yeah, I try to personally avoid the fattier foods. I skip the eating out, but there's a ton of eateries around here. It's a good place for foodies in general. So it's like three, you know, literally like three Thai restaurants on one block. Obviously, vegan options there too. So I've never had the difficulty of finding a place to eat out if I ever wanted to on an occasion. So um,
So what about like fruit? Is it how? What's the fruit quality like in Colorado?
um, I'd say it's pretty similar to anywhere else. Like where I lived, California, Arizona, we got some really good quality fruit being imported from South America. That's another good benefit to living in the U.S. We're close to over there, and often some good fruit grows over there, and
Right.
I
Yeah.
some jam.